Welcome to Movie and Beer, everybody. This is Dan bringing us down. And on this wonderful episode, we have some awesome friends and co-hosts here helping us.
You got Blake, your Predator movie expert.
And this is Brian. I'm your expert in all anthropological exploration of Native American culture.
Yes, you are.
Aaron got his head put on a wall by a predator.
Yeah, Aaron's not with us tonight, but that's okay. This is a movie called Prey, which is the fifth installment of the Predator series, from what I remember.
Yeah.
So this takes place long time ago. Long
19?
Long
I think
ago.
it said.
Yeah, so this takes
in the Great Plains.
In the Great Northern Plains. We don't know. So the movie actually gets filmed in Alberta, Canada, but it could be anywhere because there's mountain ranges and there's rivers and there's
only a small handful of white people ruining it.
And a small bunch of white people who come in and ruin everything, as they do historically and in real life.
You're welcome.
And the Native American tongue is Comanche.
Yes, it's a Comanche. They're Comanche, real Native American speaking people. If you see this on Hulu or you get it downloaded somewhere, you may be able to watch the dubbed version of it, which is in Comanche and not in the English and French with some Comanche thrown in. We tried watching that tonight, but unfortunately couldn't get it to work. So we watched it in English. Well, there's a little bit of Comanche here and there thrown in, and the French is not subtitled unless you turn the subtitles on, and we didn't because we wanted to just be immersed.
Mm-hmm. You know, I'm disappointed in they didn't put any subtitles on the Predator clicks.
They didn't. He did a bunch of clicking and
then roared a couple times. One day we're gonna dub it. It's just gonna be all Limp Bizkit lyrics. It's gonna be a real disappointment.
Yeah. I'm gonna kill these human fools.
So,
oh no, it's been Mr. T the whole time.
So this is a really, really good film. We've seen some amazing films this year so far, but
boy, this is so good. We all watched this twice, like once on our own, and then we said to each other, like, we need to do this for the podcast.
Let's do Movie and Beer with this.
This is phenomenal.
Yeah, we definitely need to do this. So there's a female lead, Naru,
played by Amber Midthunder.
Yes, and her brother is trying to convince her not,
Played by Dakota Beavers. His name's Taabe, Taabe.
Yes.
I think that's how they said it.
Yep, Taabe. Taabe. Brother-sister combo. They go out and they hunt. And he's been teaching her how to hunt. She knows how to do stuff. She's also really good with many things. And her mother says, why do you want to hunt? Because you're so good in many things.
And she says, because you don't want me to.
Correct.
She's very strong-willed, which I like in a protagonist.
Very, very
But she's phenomenal with medicine. She's a great tracker. Yeah. Her dog, I saw it earlier. The dog's real name is Coco.
Yeah.
Which took over my brain.
So the fun thing is in doing some research on the film, and we did try a couple of really amazing beers while we watched this. We had a lighter one to start with and then something a little heavier. And we picked them both on the name and on the label. We're going to get into that in a minute, but they're pretty amazing looking beers. They weren't cheap because these are nicer independent breweries that are putting stuff out. And most tall boys are between $5 and $6 a pop anyway when you're finding nice, good quality beer. So we really don't feel like we spent a lot of money, but I think both of these went really well. So we'll catch up on that in a moment. So this film, amazing, 1719 is the proposed period. And this warrior is proving herself. She's like, I can hunt. She's hesitant at first. And her brother says to her many times, is like, if you're not willing to just do it, then go do something else because you just have to do it.
Yeah.
This is definitely a female empowerment film.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
But it doesn't go overboard. It feels natural.
No, yeah.
She's more observant than anyone else that she's around.
I wonder if she gets that from her dad, who we never meet because he's gone, I think. Something got him. I don't think a predator.
She spots the predator's tracks. She tracks him a little bit, and then when they interact with the French fur trappers, which is kind of weird and bizarre, but hey, it's Canada.
I think that was for film purposes cannon fodder, so they wouldn't slaughter a bunch of Native Americans or Native Canadians. Is instead like a set enemy of the protagonist. That way. That way you get to have a cool action scene with some body count and not have the problem of, oh man, we're slaughtering indigenous people like we keep doing. Let's not do that again.
And they were clearly bad guys.
Yeah, they were doing the classic. They were skinning buffalo and leaving all the meat.
Yeah,
and apparently the translation of the French is extremely graphic and nasty.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're on top of it. They're not very friendly. Let's just say the one guy who does speak their language, who says, "I speak many languages. I'm here to help you. You should help us." He knows what's going down.
It's almost like if you speak a lot of languages, you're more empathic. Interesting.
Imagine that. How's that happen? I don't know. You buy a try or quadlingual or what do they call them?
I'm gonna take a Duolingo for Predatorese. Just be able to go,
Yeah,
and ask where the bathroom is.
We did actually say, hey, if we turn the subtitles on, would the Predator's clicks and noises he makes and roars, would those come up? And
it's just him
probably
confused the whole movie. Like, I just wonder where the bathroom is.
I
Stab,
don't
stab.
know where anything
Fine.
is.
Chop, chop, chop.
Yeah.
But yeah, this movie has amazing pacing. I've heard some people say it feels like it's slow at the start, but that just adds to what I call
The
Quentin
build-up.
Tarantino's.
Yeah,
it's not a
but-
Tarantino movie, but
but
it's that.
Alberta
bomb.
is beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
The photography is beautiful. The setting of the film is beautiful.
Oh, agreed. I'm not saying it's slow.
You can take a few moments to look at the background, the mountains, the forest, the bogs.
It
Yeah, the
sets-
setting's so good.
It sets the scene. The way they filmed it allows you to observe and absorb what's around them, and they are a part of it. They don't stick out. The trappers stuck out with the sore thumb. But the native tribe and where they lived and how they interacted with their environment was integrated into what was around them.
I know the first Predator was not commentary, but it made a point of these big tough commandos, their big tough guns were useless. Was there? Did we get a lot of set dressing in the first Predator? Do we remember? Was that like a big deal, or was it more about the guys on screen? Because this Predator that we see, dubbed the Feral Predator, a lot less armor, more base style of gear.
Well, there's about a 300-year difference between when this takes place and when.
Yeah, but we don't
first
know
Predator,
how
quote, unquote,
advanced
takes place.
all the Predators are.
Correct, and so there are.
This one's a hipster who's like, no, I like the bone style, bro. I don't know what you're talking about.
You can do some research and look up. There's lots of stuff on YouTube and Reddit and things about the Predators and how they're structured and what people perceive their societal norms and how they behave as predators and hunting policy and what they do. But that doesn't necessarily speak truth, but it does sometimes. I mean, so
it's not always consistent.
It's
I
not
get
very
that.
consistent. They won't kill women and children and people who are helpless or pregnant people or anything.
Yeah, there's no challenge in
there's no challenge.
There's no challenge in shooting that fish in a barrel.
Well,
Correct.
So the Predator in this film chose not to hunt the protagonist
A few times.
until she proved a worthy opponent.
And then she killed him.
And then she
Obviously,
proved she was worthy.
we're going to plot spoil the hell out of that.
I don't even think that's a spoiler. Like it'd be wild to watch this movie and think they killed the main character. That's weird.
Yeah, so every Predator movie, the Predator that lands and hunts them dies.
Ooh, I'm gonna write a Predator script where it's one human hunting predators and then the one lone predator wins.
So
Kills the
basically,
human.
this is a racist diatribe.
Against Predators?
The Predator is always the bad guy.
Well,
Hashtag not all predators.
Hashtag not all.
That actually might go the wrong way. Never mind.
Yeah, no. It's true. I mean, if you look at the history of the film and like I said, you just do a little Googling or get onto YouTube and you can search and find a lot of information out there that and people have broken this down and pointed out all the fun things. And I did watch something was a breakdown on the things you might have missed. And there's a lot of really interesting call outs to the first and second film. The one being the pistol at the end, where she gets a pistol, it has the name and the date on it, and they show that in the trailer, so it's not really spoiling anything. That's the same pistol that Danny Glover was given at the end of the second Predator film in L.A. when he followed the Predator into the ship and killed it, and the other Predator showed up and was like, "Oh, hey, you killed him. Take this as your trophy because we won't give you the body." Unlike they always take the skull or the spine or whatever they view as
Their culture is a trophy-taking culture.
it's a trophy-taking culture.
Wolf skulls, snake spines,
Full spines.
So I think that's really interesting, and they do totally tie the two films together with that pistol. And as I mentioned to the guys, I was like, hey, you need to watch the credits at least till the midway point through the credits, where they're doing some beautiful animations, and it shows scenes from the film, and then there's a scene at the very end of that isn't in the film.
It says here on IMDb's trivia. I don't advertise IMDb. I advertise trivia. There's an animated end title sequence. Alludes to the next chapter. It was made by top award-winning Native American artists in hide art. To be more period accurate. It doesn't tell me who, though, so I have to do some digging. But it was made by legit Native American artists. It looks accurate. It's really, really cool.
All I got to say is, so Naru, the Amber Midthunder. She is an amazing actress.
Yeah.
I'm so we had a conversation at one point about did they have the script and then pick where they're going to film it and then pick the tribe and the language, or did they have the actors in the language first and then kind of set it in a setting that fit for them, or was it just kind of coincidence that it all fit together? Because someone told me that the Comanche weren't necessarily that far north in North America, up in Alberta, but it looked very Canadian to me. I mean, it looked like the Rocky Mountains, like the northern end of the Rocky Mountains, where there's really beautiful plains on one side, rivers and mountains, and maybe they tried to make it look like Colorado and Wyoming a little bit. But
We just got thrown off because we started watching Letterkenny and then changed over to this.
yeah, so
We're waiting for the skids to show up.
Uh-huh.
Director Dran Trachtenberg, who did 10 Cloverfield Lane, which I really liked.
yeah,
So that he knows his drama and his thriller kind of vibes. Oh no, that's about the Comanche. I just saw a thing on here about the script writing, like how they want, like the studios, I think right before or around when Disney bought them, because it's 20th Century, so Fox.
20th Century Fox.
They wanted to do they wanted him to do a Predator movie, and the writer was like working on something. So I don't know if they picked the location first. I think the general idea was we want it to be like kind of a prequel, like an early Predator. Like what, like maybe the first people in this country or Canada, what would they do if a Predator showed up?
Right.
Yeah.
After the first time I saw this, I had a discussion with a family member about how inauthentic the portrayal of Native Americans was in this film.
Oh my God, here we go.
This film is set in 1719,
Yeah, 1719.
and that really predates
Everything.
everything. European contact with the Great Plains.
Correct.
Even the fur trappers probably were anachronistic.
Yeah.
I mean, there were maybe a few French fur trappers in the middle of the country at that time, but we don't really know what the culture was.
We have no idea.
So none of us can say, yeah, this is authentic, this is inauthentic. But then again, we're pretty sure there weren't fucking predators in the goddamn middle of the country.
Wait,
This
what?
is true.
Oh man, that's why I
Yeah.
failed my history class.
But the important thing is representation.
Yeah.
This film has actual First Peoples, Native Americans playing First People, Native American roles in the film.
And speaking
top-
authentic
And
dialogue.
the media has
Yeah.
gone all over this. We're just rehashing things.
Yeah.
But
But top
I want to applaud that for representation.
Yeah.
agreed. Top cast members: Amber Midthunder, Dakota Beavers. The top non-native actor is the dude in the Predator suit, Dean
Yeah.
DeLagro. Then Stormy Kipp, Michelle Thrush, Julian Black Antelope. Like these are like it's, and they've been in other stuff. I just haven't seen a lot of it, but
Yeah.
they're all proven actors.
So
The French fur trappers, they were probably European descent.
oh,
yeah,
probably.
they looked-
The alien, who knows who he was? It doesn't really
he was
matter.
in a suit. He was in a suit.
He was in a suit.
And the nice thing that I appreciate
Born in
is
Massachusetts.
the transitioning between when he had his invisible suit. That's just all post-production work. None of that was on. I'm sure he was just in that outfit.
You're saying the guy didn't know how to go invisible? That's
Yeah.
weird.
No, I mean, from a production standpoint,
yeah.
he wasn't wearing
Yeah,
a blue Zentai or whatever the hell. Like, he wasn't wearing an outfit that allowed them to swap it out for something digital. He was probably in that Predator outfit.
He was
and
probably
then
in
they
the
just
Predator
digitally-
outfit, and they digitally painted out.
Yeah.
When he was invisible, he wasn't on set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, so
I mean,
the thing
pretty
is,
much, yeah. All they have to do is just the general shape whenever it was full, when there wasn't like the little brownie Bernie marks that were on it from
Yeah.
being hit.
Yeah.
I can see it just being, he's offset, probably getting into costume or something.
So there were only a couple minor continuity things that I noticed as we were watching it a second time, and I mean, other than just the amazing, I had cranked up the sound, and Brian was like, "Wow, when I watched it on my TV, I didn't hear any of this." There is so much if you can afford or find an opportunity to watch this on a big screen with the volume cranked way up, go to a theater that cranks it way up, that gives you that bass and that surround, that Dolby Atmos. Oh my God, you'll be amazed because there's some really amazing. The sound goes from left to right and front to back.
You could
and
also
it's
treat
all
the movie with a
nature.
little disrespect and watch on a laptop with good headphones. If you can't get the whole setup.
Yeah.
Alternative.
So the sound effects editors, the sound mixers, the re-recording mixers, they all do a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
really
And-
You were talking about the bog scene had you like anxious from just the sound.
Yeah.
there.
So in specific, the bog scene at home, my sound system isn't that great. Here at Dan's, he's got a good
sound bar and a sub. That's all you need. It's just something to project the sound.
And you could really hear the art, the craft of the
Squishy.
sound designers.
The squishy, the crunchy.
The crunching's good.
You really felt when one of the characters fell into a bog.
Yeah.
The squishiness, and you could feel the wet mud just pulling her down.
Yeah, it was amazing. And even though there is some, and I would say that who could watch this? Is this a teenager, like 15 and up?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure.
I also wouldn't be a great parent, but I think a 15-year-old could watch this.
I think even 10 to 15, they see worse than this in their Saturday morning cartoons as far as violence.
Frankly, the most
But people
violence is
die.
just like people die.
Well, they
like,
get
the closest
things chopped
is
off.
accurate like wound look like.
Yeah, I mean they chop
Design, I
limbs,
guess.
limbs
Yeah,
get
but
removed.
It's not. It doesn't focus on the wounds.
Oh,
and
yeah,
the
no.
bloodletting.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm not saying
in a fetishistic.
No,
way.
yeah, I'm not saying
It's
don't watch because of that. I'm saying that's the worst thing. Is
It's
you
not
see-
torture porn.
Yeah,
No, not at all.
It's slightly worse than what you would see in a cop drama on prime time.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's no Saw.
There's no.
God,
if,
no.
if you're just watching it on Hulu without any setting changes, you're just going to get. There'll be some French, there'll be some Comanche, and then there'll be some English. There's no foul language. There's no nudity. The violence is secondary only to.
that's what the
just
Predator's
like
saying is all the dirty words,
all the dirty words, and you don't know because they don't translate.
just in a
them.
row.
Yeah. So this is
for-
a strange film from the standpoint of it being sci-fi horror-ish, because none of those things are there that normally an R-rated film, which I think this is, it's either PG-13 or R, just simply for the violence, because they're chopping heads off, they're chopping limbs off, but only in small, quick scenes, and that's, again, as Brian said, not focused on.
It's not glorified.
It's not at all.
It is rated R. This is what I don't like about IMDb. It puts every genre up here. It says action, adventure, drama, horror, sci-fi, thriller. I'd say this is sci-fi,
Sci-fi action.
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 It's more action than anything.
like suspense, but that's not a genre. But just like the nice calm opening. And anytime that Naru escaped and was just recovering from like interacting with the Predator, was like, okay, cool. Let's just calm down, catch our breath. It just and then see that beautiful vista.
And unlike other films that we've commented on recently, this one treats wounds in reality. It's like, oh my God, it's like, well, you run out of ammo. I mean, the dude, the brother, and this is when we get to there, my favorite scene is like the brother shoots the Predator when they're in the camp, pulls the arrow out, shoots him again, pulls the arrow out, shoots him again, like continues to use the same
If it's a
thing
well-made
because
arrow, you can keep on using it,
He's
baby.
going to keep on using it because he's just going to flip around the dude and pull it out and shoot him again. And it's just like, oh my God, that's amazing.
That's why Hawkeye's awesome, but nobody believes me.
Yeah.
Although all of his explode or turn to like goo or something.
Yeah, so this is where not knowing much about the Predator as a race and what they can and can't do and how well their physiological body can function as it does, it's like, wow, that's unrealistic because dude just got like jabbed with a giant, spear, shot 4 or 5 times with an arrow, sliced with a knife, and he's still going, or shot in the head.
They're
like,
made
what
out
the
of denser
hell?
stuff, Dan.
Yeah,
I
I
assume.
guess.
He's like a trained boxer. He can take hits
yeah.
and never go down until round 15.
He's not a soft shell crab.
No.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
No, crawdad.
Not a
We all know
crawdad.
he's a crawdad.
He
Eat
might
your
be a
kids.
crawdad.
we mentioned that it's like let's everyone start eating crawdads to keep the predator
of-
from evolving.
That's the script I want to pitch.
Keep
So
them crawdads down, bro.
I want to pitch a Predator prequel where it's on their home planet, but you don't know it until the end when one crawdad evolves into a predator, and it's like, I'm gonna murder everything, and then it starts talking. I don't know. I'll figure it out.
Just gets revenge on everything for eating them.
I guess so. Yeah, that'd be a fun story. I'll have Quentin Tarantino direct. So there'll be a lot of crawdad feet.
Yeah. Amazing sound, amazing visual. Oh my God, this
Everything.
is
The
one of the most
acting's
amazing
great.
visuals.
Like seriously, if you can see it, like steal it, get Hulu for a week and watch it. It's good enough that we all watched it once and said we need
It's
to watch
well worth
again.
it.
You have to watch.
I
it.
personally thought it was better than the first or
Predator.
any of the sequels.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would
sequels
agree.
so it get a little rougher.
Definitely better than any sequel.
One of the producers said they were so blown away by the first one, they were trying to make one to honor the first one.
Well, that makes sense.
And there were several callbacks to the first one.
I was
Brother
mentioning,
says-
so there's a couple of really interesting breakdowns where it's like the things you might have missed. And there were a lot of call outs to actual almost shot by shot or phrases used.
I'm about to say, some of the lines are just dead on.
just
Like
straight lifted from the first
I applauded
one.
something like when the brother at one point says, "If it bleeds, we can kill it." I just put my beer down and started clapping like at Dan's house. Like this is amazing.
That's Arnold. Arnold said that, didn't he?
Naru at one point says, do it now," which I
Yeah.
didn't catch, but I forgot that Arnold
Yeah,
says.
it's tempting the predator to shoot at him or come forward because there's a trap.
Another
It's a
another
trap.
piece of trivia on Twitter. It's Jesse Ventura. Oh darn it, I forgot the other guys, but more of the guys from the first Predator like shouted out Amber Midthunder like, "Hey, way to go, girl! Welcome to the club."
Yeah,
like they were more than happy to welcome. Like this is very cool.
You're more of a badass than we are
Yeah.
because she survived and they didn't.
Oh yeah, technically a spoiler if you've never seen the first one.
Okay, so
But yeah, I think we covered the movie pretty
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
We're gonna have
So-
to throw one of these lines out, but yeah,
no, it's all good. So
if it bleeds, we can kill it.
This is again moving to beer, and we're hanging out. We're talking about this great film called Prey, which is the 5th installation of the Predator series. It is sort of a prequel.
It's fully a prequel because all the
Fully
other
prequel.
ones, it's Predator 1, Predator 2, Predators, and then Predator,
Yeah, something like that.
which is like a soft attempted to reboot that did
And then
not
spin-offs,
go over.
Predator versus Alien.
PVA, yeah,
Yeah,
And-
AVP.
yeah,
The
whatever
sequel
it was.
to that, whatever the fuck
They
that
really made a
was.
second one. That's
There was-
crazy.
Well,
Yeah,
there was one that
there's at
occurred
least
in
two.
like there's a stupid like Aztec temple one that occurs.
That
and
was
then
the
there's-
first one.
and then there's one that occurs
there's
in like
another
on
one.
another planet that
I never saw
Adrian
that
Brody
planet
was
one.
the actor in.
Well, I thought that was
lead.
Predators. We'll have to do
That's
some.
Predators.
Oh, that's Predators.
We'll
Okay,
do a
yeah.
deep dive and watch all these
Anyway.
for you fans.
So
no, we will not.
I will. I'll punish myself for
All
the
right,
views.
so-
let's talk beer.
we're going to talk a little bit here now. Okay, so as we normally do,
If it brews, we can drink it.
if it brews, we can drink
There
it. There
we
we
go.
go. That's our phrase.
Cheers.
Catchphrase. Got him. I got him. I never do that. I finally got him. So we knew what we were watching ahead of time because we had picked this out
Yeah.
a week ago after we all watched it when it got released. And we're like, oh my God, we got to watch this film and do an episode for it. We stopped by the other day, yesterday actually,
We were buying beer the other day.
John's Marketplace in Southeast, on Southeast Powell. An amazing beer shop
Oh, yeah.
with a huge selection. And we were able to acquire some Holy Mountain Brewing and Brouwerij West. And I know I'm not pronouncing it correctly, but
Did
it is.
you get both of those there?
Well, they have them both there.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
We had gotten
Okay.
the Holy Mountain at another location, but it was also there.
Gotcha,
so it was
gotcha.
like, yeah. So with the Brouwerij West,
Right on.
they only had a couple at the first shop, and we got more at the second shop. So we got these based on the name and the can design, and we wanted something that was a little bit lighter to start because we're like, oh, this is a really heavy movie, and we need to just like not be distracted. But then it was like this IPA, the second one that we had, really
It matches
fit
the ratcheted up action
really crazy action.
and all the green blood.
Yes.
Oh,
all
I should drink that neon
splattering-
thing.
the splattering neon stuff. This first one that we tried was from Holy Mountain Brewing, which is out of Seattle, and it's called Second Death, and it's Hell style beer. It's an Hellas lager. And if you've never had Holy Mountain beer before, they tend to be on the sour side. They make a lot of sours, but they have in the more recent past, over the pandemic, started canning and distributing their normal beers, which is a bit different than their normal sours. I've been to the brewery location itself in Seattle. And it's a lot of sours. It's a lot of barrel aged and lactic sours that are really heavy. And I think they do some Brett beers as well, so Brettanomyces. So, but this one,
What's a Brett beer? Just real quick.
it's something they add to the beer to make it funky.
Oh, that's the funk thing. Gotcha,
Yeah,
gotcha.
to make it taste and smell like dirty socks. Because this beer is
Oh,
not
that's the
that.
dirty sock thing.
That's
Okay,
the dirty
you've
sock thing,
you
yeah.
said that before many times.
So this is a Hella style lager brewed with 100% German Pilsner malt, lightly
Yeah.
hopped with German Tettnang, and then it's fermented with the lager yeast that they have in house. So it's a strain. It doesn't say what the strain is from or where it originated, but it's their in-house lager. Which lager yeast tend to act really slowly, and it takes a long time for them to ferment. So it's a couple weeks. It's like 6 to 8 weeks in the fermentation tank, and then they can start.
can
doing
it
whatever
go
they wanna do with it.
longer?
It can go longer than that. It can take a long time, depending on what it is and what they're doing with it. For the funky ones that they're adding Brettanomyces or they're, using lactic and using a yeast that then reacts to that can take months. That's 6 to 8 months.
Yeah, that groovy bass lines, a solid drum kick while a guy goes, ow!
So this is a little effervescent. It's really golden. It's a little like white, tight, fizzy head if you do pour it out into a glass, which I did, and I didn't do it during this, but I've had it before. And
I poured mine into the glass that is my belly.
My bellies. There's a little bit of sweet bready malt that's almost toasted, but just it's like, almost toasted. If you know what I'm talking about. Like you have toast, you don't quite toast it long enough where it's a little firm, but it's not quite toasted.
That's not brown.
Not brown.
Brian, did you get any toasted? I don't know if I did. And I feel like I'm crazy for not getting it.
There's some floral and herbal. I mean, it's got some traditional hops.
I don't have a very distinct palate.
He doesn't.
I was just looking for an agreement because I didn't want to be the only one.
It's like
I didn't taste it.
It was a fine beer. It was a light beer. I didn't pick out a lot of notes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't meant to have a lot of notes.
Nothing really. I mean, it didn't distract from the movie, so that's good. But
No,
I didn't really get anything.
It went
really,
fine.
I didn't get anything like over the top.
But I actually think the second beer, and I think we all agree, the second beer went better with the film.
Correct. So the second beer we had is called Dig My Earth, and it's a double hazy IPA from Brouwerij West, which is out of
the label is wild. Sorry,
Yes.
I keep looking at the label of the Split Fox.
We picked out this beer based just simply on the label itself. So this is out of San Pedro, California. This is 8% ABV. Doesn't have any IBUs on the can or that I could find. It's made with Amarillo, Simcoe, and Centennial hops, which are really traditional IPA hops.
Simcoe, yeah, but say I've heard Amarillo and Simcoe a lot in the brewery game.
Yep. So this has a lot of resin and juicy kind of grapefruity kind of hits on the front, and you noticed a bunch of herbal kind of notes when you opened it up and took a whiff from the can.
It was kind of like a medicine cabinet smell.
Yeah,
initially.
Kinda. So there's some like pungent tropical,
I can see that.
mango, durian, peach, and grapefruit balance that happens, and then it's just kind of like on the back end. It's weird because it transitions. You hit that mid, and it kind of dries a little bit, and then you get the hit with like papaya, apple, pear, and like raisins, and almost like candied orange. It's like really, really, really citrus packed. It's got all these different kind of citrus fruits. But then it kind of just dries and drops off. It doesn't linger horrible. It's just dry on the back. It doesn't have a lot of, I guess you would say, funkiness to it, but there is some herbal and some dryness to it.
As a representative of those who know nothing about beer, I'm going to call you on the multiple fruits. Brian and I just exchanged a look like, what are you talking about fruit? Like, I didn't taste any of that stuff. I can tell you as it goes longer, I'm sipping on mine still. It's a lot better cold. I feel like it's better when it's not
when it warms up, it gets a little weird.
Well, it says right on the can, keep cold. And we have discussed before that's not a good thing on a beer can.
Yeah, yes and no. Sometimes you want it
to only
maintain
bad all the
tightness.
time. I agree with Brian.
So again, we picked this out because of the labels. We knew, having watched the film ahead of time, that there's a wolf that attacks the predator towards the beginning. It kills a snake, and he's like, well, what's on next? And it finds
a wolf hunting a rabbit.
Hunting a rabbit. It takes the wolf out and splits the wolf and takes the spine and it's like this label literally has a wolf being split in half with the skull and pieces of the wolf tail. I was just like,
and the spine.
This exactly matched.
Dan, it's a fox.
It's a fox. All right.
It's fully a fox.
It's a good metaphor for the film.
It is a great metaphor for the film,
visual.
but if you're looking for this can on the shelves, it's a fox.
All right.
But we all kind of agreed this beer went better with the film.
Yeah.
And probably for different reasons. It was more hoppy. I don't like a lot of hops, but it felt like kind of a darker, more complex beer.
I could see that. Yeah.
And that went better with this film than the first film. Than the first beer.
The first beer, yeah.
Yeah.
You're totally right on that. I think both of these went okay. I think this one, again, I'm going to agree with everybody. It went really, really well. What would you drink otherwise? What might you recommend?
I've been thinking about that this whole time. I'm trying to see for part of me wants to do a marathon where I watch them in chronological order, at least this one, Predator or Predator 2. So for that, it'd be like 10 Barrel's pub beer, something light and easy to knock a few back. If I'm watching just this, I almost want to have something with like slightly less citrus, maybe more pine taste, because they're in a very wooded area for most of the movie.
Yeah, I would say a little darker. It's kind of stalking in the deep forest type feel.
maybe a beer you spend the entire hour and 40 minutes like sipping on the whole way through.
That would be hard. It's a long movie. I don't know if I would recommend that. That seems like.
Listen to me. I'm your Predator movie expert, and I say do it.
You could have two of the same beer
You could.
and stretch it through the movie.
Thank you, Brian,
with the same flavor profile.
That's a phenomenal compromise.
I mean, most people pick up 6-packs. They don't. They don't buy 6
singles.
or 7 different singles.
Yeah, they don't buy a bunch of singles like we do. 'Cause
Yeah.
we're crazy
So,
like that.
so I think something dark. I think something darker.
Yeah.
Like a heavy
Okay.
complex.
So I would really like for us, if we're going to do beer name rename game, now that we've chatted about the beers, I would like to do the second one, the Dig My Earth, because this
I'd
is
agree.
an amazing. I think it worked really well, and for those that don't know, the plot keyword beer name rename game is you go to IMDb, and not that we're supporting them, we're not members. You can look up any show or movie, as you know. And if you scroll about halfway down the page, don't use their app because the app doesn't have it, but their webpage, or if you're using your phone, use your browser. Go there, look it up. They have plot keywords there's about 113. This movie just came out like a week ago, and there's already
I said it before we recorded. I think that's the power of the Predator fandom, because I don't know if it's a lot of people who love the Predator films, but whoever does love it loves it.
Prey is the #1 rated film on Netflix right now.
Yeah,
Love
I mean
that.
it's kicking everybody's butt because it's
Or Hulu. I'm sorry.
on Hulu.
I think it's
It's
Hulu.
really
It's
freaking
Hulu.
good.
It's on streaming. You can probably find it. It's so
My
good.
facts are right, but wrong.
Yes. So what we do is you can use whatever word you want, but we typically pick a word or a combination of words or therein from this nice long list of descriptors that have been submitted by IMDb users and then rated based on their relevance. And I have a couple already picked out, but I'm going to let the other gentleman here at the table go before me because there's some really good ones that work really well with
I'm doing this the way that maniacs play poker, where I don't look at my hand, I just go all in.
All right.
I didn't look at anything. I'm just going to say it's 2 parts. The beer is called Green Blood, and the words underneath it every time are, if it brews, we can hop it, or if it hops, we can brew it, something like that. But yeah, Green Blood.
That makes sense.
A very level, no, Lewitt, very Lewitt style of naming, where it's a whole production with the character with it.
Lots and lots of words.
Okay.
Brian?
I'm going to call it Bear Chase.
Ooh,
Bear Chase is a good descriptor because
it's really good.
There's it's not maybe a quarter, but there's a pretty long, maybe 10 to 15 minute scene where the main character is chased by a bear, and then the bear gets its ass whooped by the predator. But,
Well, after
Spoiler.
After it knocks the predator down, I think.
Yeah,
Well,
the bear gives as good as it gets for a while.
it takes a few chomps out of him, but it is what it is. So
Bear Chase is good. I like that.
I'm gonna make a stretch here,
I love it.
and I'm just gonna call it 1719
Ooh,
because
okay.
that's the year that's on the pistol.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
connects the two, and either that or Flintlock. I would call it one of those two. Flintlock, I think,
I'm
might work
saying
a little better
between the two for this particular beer. I'd say go for Flintlock.
yeah.
It's a good strong sound.
I'm going to call it Feminist Hulu.
feminist.
Those were 2 of the keywords in IMDb, and
Oh,
they're ridiculous.
How silly!
Yeah.
Oh,
Don't be that guy. Don't be the person that just
And we know it's a guy.
Craps.
That's always a guy.
Don't be the guy that craps all over this and tells your daughter not to watch it because it empowers them. I mean, come on,
God, this
really?
movie's so good.
Yeah. All right,
The
so
main character is such a badass.
it is. I think again we can all really, really say watch this if you're an adult or a teenager that can handle a little bit of. I mean, I'm serious. Like anything that's on the internet at this point, you've seen worse.
Yeah.
And this is really well written. It's really well acted. This beautiful scenery and the sound is amazing.
It's clearly done by people who care about the franchise and
They
care about
do.
the story they want to tell.
They tell an amazing story and
Yeah.
really what
They
respectful.
improve the franchise, I would
They
say.
improve
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
respectful of everything and everyone except for those stupid French people that come in and the fur trappers that just take advantage of what's in front of them.
we here at Movie and a Beer approve of the French and Quebecois.
Quebecois. Yeah. All right. So, as always, the opinions expressed during the taping of this recording are those of the hosts. And, I really want to say watch this if you have a chance. It's really good. It's my, at this point, one of the top 2 or 3 of the year so far.
I'd say that's in my top 3 easily.
And,
I agree.
Thanks for listening and hanging out, everybody. And this is Dan. We're gonna just, I mean,
if it can hydrate, we can dehydrate.
We can. If it can hydrate, you can hydrate. So yeah, drink a bunch of water.
Drink some water. Drink some beers. Have friends.
Have friends do it with you. Have friends, or just watch it with.
Go have friends, please. Stop yelling about people on the internet.
That works.
We hate trolls here.
Yes, we're troll.
Unless it's Troll Hunter 2, which I will watch for the podcast.
Which is
amazing.
All right, so thanks for listening in, everybody. Take care. Have a good one. This is Dan signing out. Bye bye.
This is Brian signing off. Bye.
This is Blake making predator clicking noises.